come close, let the fire burn bright. There's gold in the tail and stars in the night. Tune up the strings, let the old drums roar. We sing for the heroes' war. We sing for the heroes of the last great war.
thought you want music.
Good morning and welcome to the third episode of Tiny Table Talk. I'm John.
This is Mickey. It's
And,
morning. I thought it's the evening.
It's morning here in Singapore where we are located, right? And it's in the evening in hopefully wherever you guys are from. So, what are we going to talk about today?
So hopefully you guys know that we are working on this game called Aeons of Adventure. So right now, definitely we are still continuing to talk about this. We have thankfully there's a lot of inquiries from you guys. They're asking about the games, but one of the question that strike us is mainly on they're asking for, is it a fixed way of playing? Is it linear?
Yep.
All these things. They are focusing on how can we or how can they or new players that is new to tabletop get into this game quickly, right? So one of the question that like most commonly asked is the hero. Is it like very hero focused? So right now we want to talk more about the heroes, like how building the heroes in Aeons of Adventure is actually very fun. Yeah, you can start a whole new discussion on that. But today we want to touch on about the heroes in Aeons of Adventure. Maybe John, you can share more on the heroes.
Yep. So when we talk about heroes, what we're referring to are the player characters that you as a player would get to play, basically, right? So we are not a class-based TTRPG. It's a mix between a class-based, a skill-based, and a point-based thing. But if I had to put it, it would be a point-based system where you allocate into your skills, right? And our skills here are not the same in the sense of athletics and acrobatics. It's not those type of skills. What we're talking about is traditionally abilities. However, we coin them as skills because we have them as skill cards, right? And so when you make a hero, instead of choosing a class or a standardized like archetype, like a barbarian or a fighter, what you do instead is you decide how you want to build this heroic fantasy that you have in your head by picking up the little pieces of what actually forms up this fantasy. So that could be the type of armor it wears, that could be the weapons it uses, that could be the type of spells it casts, right? Going down these little pockets of skills and abilities.
So obviously for those who are very familiar with tabletop, you understand what a class. So just for the benefit for those that like quite new, what does a class even mean? So the setting of our game is definitely in the fantasy world. So in the fantasy world, so those who watch or read or have read novels and stories or watch movies like Lord of the Rings, especially Lord of the Rings as a set sort of like a standard and a benchmark. There are certain fantasy fiction race, and then they turn into like classes. So like for example, wizards, you have wizards, sorcerer. So these different races. So wizard is they are races in Lords of the Ring. So as there's many more fantasy story being built up and then turn into games, they are known as like classes, right? So that's why when we go into fantasy tabletop gaming, there are a few very standard classes. For example, wizard is one of them. Then you have paladin,
the knights, the fighters,
the knights, the fighter, and then obviously you have rogue or thief, the thief, assassin, and all these things. So why do we have this thing is because each of them has different role, different capabilities, and when they come together as a party. So when you watch, so I think Lord of the Rings is one of the movies that a lot of people is familiar with. So if you look at that, when they journey as a party, so each of them have different skill set. Like Aragorn is a ranger.
Aragorn's a ranger.
Yeah. And then you have elves that is very skillful with archer, right? As well as magic. So once you look at this, you start to realize that this is a starting point. So Aragorn cannot cast magic. So the games will follow this kind of sort of rules, like how one should behave, right? For example, if you have a barbarian, Conan cannot cast magic. Yeah, they are very beefy, very strong. someone like a wizard, they can't like they can't fight as well. Yeah. So when this is typical classes.
Yep.
So they are there. They are essentially there to sort of give you. So when you create a character when you are new, right? You do not know what to do. So you have class, and then you have to explain what each can do. So typically when you start, and for those people who are not familiar, they need to understand what this class can do. But what John has just explained is that we do away with that. So now it's different from before. So before there wasn't like classes that people are very familiar. But now we have lots of different movies such as Harry Potter's and a lot of fantasy movies. People are slowly familiar with like different types of roles, not classes. Maybe to you, right? They know that there's wizard. They know that there's fighters. They know that people who use bow and arrows. So people nowadays are familiar with different types of characters. I would say characters for them, characters and their ability, right? So all these things. So it's enough for them to imagine and come up with their own heroes. So what we have come up with is that there's no need to like force it down to you. What type of classes, because they are bound by what they can do. Like for example, I just said like a barbarian cannot cast magic. So one who is not familiar with this which is fresh up with all this fantasy, it'll be very nice. He knows a bit like I want to be beefy, but I want to cast magic. Just go ahead.
Yep.
We wouldn't say no, you can't do that. So this is what we're trying to
achieve.
We try to approach with. So as long as you have that very minimum understanding and exposure for fantasy, you know that there's magic, fast, unlock, assassin, all these things. Yeah, it's really up to you, right?
All right. To go a little even further into that, it's not just that people are, they're more familiar with all these kind of like different type of archetypes and fantasies, but there's so many of them out there in today's like modern media, our shows, our movies, right, that don't fit nicely into a package, right? For example, just now, Conan the Barbarian, this is a great example. Conan the Barbarian, if I were to make Conan the Barbarian in Dungeons and Dragons, he would not be a barbarian, right? Which is kind of weird because his skill sets don't belong to the barbarian of Dungeons and Dragons, but he's called Conan the Barbarian, right? This is like he's a weird like rogue combined with fighter kind of combination thing. Same thing for Lord of the Rings. If you want to play like Aragorn or Legolas, like they're both rangers technically in Dungeons and Dragons and maybe even some other like systems, but they're very different characters, right? Like one of them uses the bow much more. In fact, mainly uses the bow, and then the other one has like this combination of like sword, a little bit of bow and arrow here and there, like horse riding, and then there's like a whole charisma aspect of the ranger, right? So these tropes, right, they don't fit nicely into a class. And so our solution is instead, okay, why don't we just break it up and then we'll offer you the singular components of them and then you put them together and piece them into what your fantasy is, right? What your heroic fantasy is. Yep.
But that is not to say that it is just strictly because they want to have a strict rules that they come up with classes and all these things. It's definitely not that simple. We are just like in layman terms just explain, but there are very deep law behind why certain races or certain classes do something. There's a historic the whole history and reasons and background story that built up, and that usually is a foundation even for different stories, different brand, because they're quite universal across. Then they do some tweaking. Like for example, elf essentially are very nimble, flexible, and they are very good in magic for a lot of settings, a lot of different stories. That's because it's not because of their characteristics. It's because of the mainly their history background. So first of all, elves they live long life for a lot of different stories. Usually they live
It's the
like,
stereotype.
like thousands of years. Now with thousands of years meant that they have knowledge and gain that knowledge, and that will be linked to like magical stuff and nature and all this, right? So human naturally is quite ambitious, greedy, all these things, but they are well rounded. This is why they can do a lot of things, but not necessarily excel in one particular stuff. Right now, dwarf usually is so like dwarf. They have a history of background that led them to why they are, and that's why these types of classes are being or races are being constructed in this way. Is because of their history that was built to come out with them. So it's not just because because they have a rich history. So then what about us? Does it mean that we don't have a rich history? We have, but we're not going to go into that. We have a way to explain why all these things and why it works differently, and why certain heroes and characters can have all well-rounded and can have everything, and you can do any mix and match. It's because of the world of Aeons of Adventure. So it works totally like differently, and yet it makes use of those the things that you are familiar with in fantasy world, right? So we have a very different world and a very different history. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So instead of taking from the very basic foundation and build on top of it and do some tweaking, we totally like use a different world setting and how these races and different heroes comes about while maintaining some familiar things that you know about
some
fantasy.
more common tropes, visually lah.
So that is to explain that we have a reason. Our history is very drastically different from a very typical type of fantasy world, which so we retain all those like skill set, the common classes that what they can do, and you can mix them up however you want.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have anything?
Oh yeah, so I was going to add on, right? Just because the system and the races and the skills exist within the setting in Aeons of Adventure, it does not mean that you can't use this system in your own worlds, right? That's not true. So the systems and the skills are easily, like, you can plug them out and you can use them and create your own setting as well if you want to run your own adventure. However, they are designed with the setting of Aeons of Adventure in mind, right? So there's just a little bit of context as to the thing. So you might see, like, for example, you may summon a pet, and the pet is a cat bear, right? Like, cat bears they're not common things. So there's something that's unique to the setting, but you can just use them and plug them out, and all of the stats and the systems can be used in your own quests if you want to design your own quests and your own adventures as well. Yeah.
So we do have races. So in this Aeons of Adventure basics kit, we introduced the 5 races, different races. We do have different races, but we will show you in a bit. And now, does the race affect? They affect differently, but not in terms of your
not your stats.
Not your stats. Yeah, correct. So it also doesn't affect your capability to learn certain things. So, like, for example, all 5 of them, there's no one race that excel in learning magic.
I mean, law-wise there might be lah, but not. You don't have to use. There's no rule that makes your race better at magic. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. There's you can still we allow that to happen. So that's mainly about it. So we can, like, sort of. So the first thing we can do and introduce is that how do we build the heroes? We can go through that. Now we have this quick guide right here. I'll show you later. This is too easy for you to nice. So here we have a quick guide for adventurers. So here are the steps that tells you what you're gonna do from step 1 all the way to step 8 in terms of creating your own characters. And a bit there's a quick start guide here. We have a rule book, but let's focus on the character side. So you can, based on this quick guide, do they need this also? It's so small.
This one is more for reference while playing.
Oh, reference while playing.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
then we don't need
Later,
that.
later.
Okay, so this one can show.
Yep.
Now, while building the character, so the quick guide actually is they give you the steps what to do. Now, through these steps, you need to fill up like definitely your HP, your different stats, as well as your mastery and your skills. So we definitely have a downloadable copies for this,
Yep.
right? But in the basic kit, we included the printed set
Yes.
for this. Yeah.
There will also be pre-filled sets, so that if you just want to jump straight into the adventure, you can just take the pre-filled one and then just run it from there.
Right. Okay. So let's do we want to leave this on? Then we can
Hey, we'll just put it to the side.
Yeah.
Just scroll it over though. Okay. So shall we make a character?
Yeah, let's make the character. So the first part here. Okay, let's put it here, side, then we will show. Let's see.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Right. Let's move this away. Okay, let's go. All right. Now the first part is choose a race.
Yep.
So yeah, John, introduce the race. So we have. No, which one we want to go first? This one.
Okay, so before we start choosing our races, right, the way that you choose a race in Aeons of Adventure is, well, first you choose the race based on their visuals and whatnot, but races do come along with a skill. So this skill is dependent on what race you have, right? And we have more than one skill that you can choose from per race. So why don't we start introducing with the... let's start with the most basic one, right? So let's start with the human, right? So this is one of the skills for the human, known as the Twist of Fate, right? So
just to interrupt you. Now this card does not represent the race that you choose. We don't have a card specifically to represent the race. This is just one of the skills.
yes, this is the skill for the race.
A
correct.
human type can have many different skills that is human. So this is a skill that is belonging to the
Human.
the human.
Yes.
Right. It looks like that. So this illustration.
Yep.
These are produced by Jonathan. Right. So yep.
All right.
This is one of the skills.
Then let's move on to the next race. So another common trope. We have the elves.
So in the rulebook? The rulebook will have more information about the different races. You'll talk more a bit. Why we have that is not just the background history. It also have some guides for you in terms of like mainly their physics,
Yep.
their behavior characteristic, which later will help you to with the next steps in building your heroes. We talk a bit about the classes, why we want to do away so that you can create your imagination, but there are still some boundary with what you can do and what you cannot do. We will come to that bit later. What I'm referring the boundaries, right? So the next one is
this is the elves.
So this is the elves.
Yep. So it's an example of an elf skill. So you might have noticed that at the top left corner of the card, right, there's a little icon. So that icon represents that this is a skill from a race, right? So it's a racial skill. All right. Now let's get a little more crazy. So the next one is the Daira. Daira are kind of like these horned beings. If you're familiar with tieflings in Dungeons and Dragons, they are sort of like tieflings, but not quite. Yep. Oh, it's quite blur on if you move it close. I don't think there's autofocus.
Oh, there's no?
I think these are no autofocus. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yep. And then the next one, as we get a bit more unique to the setting in Aeons of Adventure, these are the Viennans. So the Viennans are like these bird-like races. They have avian traits based on the families of the bird. So this one is the shifting feathers. And the last one, the little derpiest one for the last, are the claimants, right? And the claimants are, it's our own, it's kind of like our setting of something in between a gnome, a dwarf, and a hobbit, right? They're short, they're stubborn, and a little tenacious guys. Yep, that is ale in his hand.
So now that we introduced the 5 races, and with the last one, the claimant that we just shared to you guys. So just now I was saying that the boundaries. So why we have this background and you understanding that a bit. That is not so much about the rule over them, but that will help you to ease your process of creating your heroes, because like by understanding claimant, you know that later on when you create your heroes, you need to describe the physics. So you can't say I have a like 1.8 meter tall claimant, because they are sort of like dwarf.
Yeah, they're short.
Yeah. So that's why I mean that there are certain boundaries. The boundary is not so much about the skill set or the stats. Yeah, but in terms of like we want the players who is playing to be really involved and share what they are creating in terms of like how it looks, like the fat, how tall, and all this stuff.
Skin color, hairstyle, hair colors, eye color, all that kind of stuff. You might also have noticed that these race cards, right, some of them have numbers at the top right and some don't. Well, that's because some of them are active. So we have active racial skills where we have a stamina system that you use. So this could be in combat, out of combat, but you use stamina to use the actual skill. Whereas some of the other racial skills are passive. So they apply at all times. Right, so that is what that little number at the top right represents, and that's why they're different. All right, and so those are the 5 races.
All right. So once again, I usually choose claimant.
All right.
Yeah, but once again, so as I was mentioning, this is not the race card. You don't keep this per se. These are just skills. But what you will write down here is the race.
Yep.
Is claimant.
That's right.
So you write down the race right here. Yeah.
So as a player, you will hold on to the cards. So you can refer to the cards as and when you want to use the skill and whatnot. So it starts to form a little tiny deck that you can hold on to that acts kind of like a spell book. All right. So shall we take away the rest?
So once we select the race, then their racial skill, which is this.
Yes, that is the racial skill. That's right.
As of now, we only got one.
No, we got 2 each.
You got the other one?
That one, no.
Oh, okay. So we have so there's 2 each for each race.
Each race, yes.
So this is one of the skills.
Yep.
I'll just take these skills. So this is a ratio. So out of the 2, you pick one.
Yep.
Okay, 42.
Yep. To be more accurate, right, you have 1 point at level 1, and you have another point at a higher level that is not included in the basic set that allows you to pick more skills, right? And of course, there's also things like being of a multiple racial ancestry, which means that you may have like a claimant father and like a elven mother, which allows you to pick up one racial from one and one racial from the other. But that's only enabled at a higher level. So at level 1, you can only choose one, right? Yep.
That's the one.
Yes, that's the cost.
Yeah. The cost. Right. Okay. So once again, this card is mainly on the racial scale, but obviously when we talk about if I have this, that means my race is from claimant.
Yep.
Yeah. So the next step is based on your. Is it based on your race?
No, irregardless of your race.
Irregardless. The next one is the masteries.
Yep, that's right. So masteries in our system is basically what replaces the class system, right? So masteries represent pockets of skills that come with being proficient at certain things. That could be weapons, that could be fighting in certain armor types, that could be magic categories. So when I say magic categories, I mean things like the different elements: fire, lightning, ice, and the rest of them. Right. So which one shall we start with first? Shall we start with a defensive one or an offensive one?
Offensive.
All right. And so when it comes to offensive masteries, right, they're split into 3 main categories within the offensive category. We have magic. So these are the 4 classes of magic available in the basic set. I think the race one just put on the player sheet for now. Yep. So starting from the top left, we have Arcane. On the top right, we have Radiance, which is kind of like your holy and light. At the bottom left, we have Fire, also known as Flame. And then the bottom right, we have Frost, which is, cold spells, ice spells, and water spells included as well, right? So these are the four for magical masteries. Now the next category are martial weapons, or it's not exclusive to weapons because in the future we may have some other things, but these are martial masteries. So you can think of them as like more physical and equipment focused. So within the basic set, we come with 6 different types of masteries for martials. We have spears. The top left is spear, right? So these are spear skills. They are known as polearms. The masteries for polearms, because this includes both poleaxes, spears, javelins. It includes the entire family, right? And then the second one we have is blade arts, which includes most of the larger blades.
I was showing the mighty throw.
Oh, yeah. So this one is a blade arts. It's used for axes, for swords, the larger size blades. Then with the bottom left, we have bows. So technically, it's not bows; it's archery, and this includes more than just bows. But for the basic set, we only have bows available. And the next one would be for shields, which is the Sentinel Mastery. So this represents your ability to fight with a shield. This can be like shield charging, intervening for your allies, gaining more defense when you're surrounded, and things like that, right? And the fifth one is the Crusher Mastery, and the Crusher Mastery represents blunt weapons specifically. So this could be hammers, maces, flails, and things along those family line, right? And the last one, which is the Swift Edge Mastery, this refers to all small kind of like bladed weapons. So daggers, katars, claws, and all those like small things that you can use with a single hand, right? And so those are the 6 mastery families available in the basic set.
So this is the icon.
Yep. So the top left icon represents, this one is for techniques. So for martial masteries and for the specialist masteries later you'll see, they use techniques. And the reason they're techniques is because there are separate rules for techniques and spells. All right, and now we have our last category, which are our specialist categories available. So these are categories that don't quite fit into martial or magic. They're kind of like, they're more unique. They typically use charm as an attribute. So we have 5 attributes, which is might, dexterity, vigor, charm, and affinity. So these are the ones that use charm. So right here we have the Beast Mastery. So Beast Mastery includes things like summoning of a beast of the wild, buffing them with different kinds of enchantments, recovering their life, fighting alongside them. And when it comes to fighting alongside them, it's not limited to just beasts. So the Beast Mastery includes skills that affects all minions, and there are some other masteries that also have minions. And at the bottom, we have the Inspiration Mastery. So the Inspiration Mastery will be things like war chants, shouts, and songs. In your traditional RPGs, this may be the commander or it may be the bard, right? So these are skills where typically there's no requirement except I need to shout at somebody and they must be able to hear me, right? Right, and so these are the core masteries in the offensive side. And so when you create a character at level 1, you have 3 mastery. You're given 3 mastery points, and one of them must be spent on a defensive one, and then the other 2 can be spent in whatever way you wish. All right, so shall we choose 2?
So you have 3 points.
Yep.
Right. So I'll start off with again the is it summoning of
The beast.
The beast.
Yep.
Yeah. So which one?
Take both. Take both. Oh, actually, no, that's a good time. So
yeah,
the Beast Mastery, right? So this is not exclusive to Beast Mastery, but some skills come with token cards. So for example, in this one, the level 1 Beast skill is Summon a Beast, right? And now you might be thinking, okay, so what beast do I get, right? So it comes with a couple of token cards for your beast. In this case, the one that's shown on screen right now is the cat bear. However, there are other ones as well. There's a wolf companion and then there's a bird companion as well, right? So the companion token cards do come along with the skill, and so when you take the skill, you also take the token cards. That's why there's no cost at the bottom of a token card, right? The icon for this one right here is actually a minion icon at the top left of the cat bear. Yep. So that represents the minion icon. Yep. And just for comparison, this also happens to be a summon card. And this is the Arcane Mastery minion. So the Arcane Mastery represents like your mastery over, well, the arcane arts, you know, mana, magic, raw power, right? So they can also summon minions, and this is included in the basic set. They have a mana bound minion, right? Now, like, what's the difference between like beast minions and like these caster minions? Fundamentally, we try to keep their use cases quite separate. So for example, the beast companion is mainly there for you to always be available, right? Whereas the arcane one is more of a temporary, almost turret-like creature, right? However, like, minion skills on the beast tree do affect minion skills everywhere else. So that includes the one in the arcade. Yep. So in this case, because Mickey has chosen the beast mastery skill, he gets both the skill and the companion tokens.
Do you have the wolf? The wolf
Have,
is not here.
Can. Give me one moment. Let me look for them. There are a lot of cards in the basic set, and the basic set comes with a total of 140 something cards per set. All right, so we have the bird and the beast companion here, the wolf companion here as well, right?
Let me show you. It's what I love. So you have the adorable cat. You can summon the falcon. Or you can get the giant wolf or dire wolf, however you want to call it.
Whatever wolf you want it to be.
Right. So I'll take the wolf.
All right.
You summon the wolf, which will come with the token that John just mentioned.
Yep. So the card itself is the token. Okay. And so with this, right, you have spent one mastery point, right? So you still have one more that you can use to learn. So the way that the mastery system works is that you can choose to invest all your points into a single mastery, or you may spread them up amongst up to 3 other offensive masteries.
So what do you mean I can spend all on that one mastery?
So for example, right, the beast mastery here, you have spent 1 point into learning a beast skill.
Yes.
So we have other beast skills in the beast mastery tree, and you can choose to spend all your points into the same beast mastery tree, or you may choose to spread them out.
So this is where we were talking about building and customizing your own heroes. So it's not necessarily like you can summon a beast, you're the beast master. You could you could start to match and have other mastery as well.
That's right.
So I would want to. Is this arcane magic?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
And so in this case, if you were to pick arcane magic, that would also mean that right now you have 2 summons.
Right.
And you will get the token for it as well. Yeah.
Is it just this?
This guy. Yeah.
This.
Yep.
So I have a token for this.
So this is the spell for the wolf, and then that is the. And right, so now that you have spent your 2 core masteries, your last point must be spent on a defensive mastery. So what exactly are defensive masteries? Defensive masteries represent the way that your character is able to fight wearing certain types of armor. Anybody can wear any type of armor. However, in the same way that anybody can swing a sword, right? Some people swing swords better than others, and when you practice them, you gain certain skills. And so when you fight in certain armor types, you can have certain, well, bonuses, to put it lightly, right? And so we have 3 defensive masteries available. So these 3. So we have cloth armor, we have light armor, and then we have heavy armor, right? In the basic set, similar to races, every armor comes with 2 2 skills available for you to pick from. So these are just 3 of them, right? So each one has 2, so a total of 6, right? And so yeah, these are skills that represent your ability to fight in different armor types. Just to be clear, everybody can fight in every armor type. You don't need to have a skill to fight in that armor type, but having a matching skill does allow you to fight well with more bonuses. So on the left we have the cloth armor. So this is like fighting in robes. This also includes things like imagine if you're like a Chinese style kind of like wuxia sword master. Like they typically wear robes, they don't wear leather armor, they don't wear plate armor, right? So this is where that kind of fantasy comes from. And then on the second one, we have the typical leather wearing or lighter armor. So the categorization is light armor there. And then the last one is our typical plate, your knights, your fighters. So that's heavy armor.
Like monk usually don't wear light or heavy.
Yep. So monks will be wearing clothing. Yeah.
Clothing, right?
Right.
And like those magic user as well.
However, not exclusively. So
yes,
in our system, let's just say you want to be a plate-wearing monk. Go right ahead, right? So you can simply just choose the heavy armor mastery and then pick up things like, okay, it's not included in the basic set. We don't have brawling, but in the future, maybe. That is a possibility, right?
But the cloth definitely wouldn't hold up as a protection.
That's right.
Damage to be absorbed, right?
Yep. So the differences between the different armor types is that from left to right, right? So cloth armor is the highest evasion focused armor type. And on the right, you have heavy armor, which is the most armor dependent armor type, right? It's the armor type. So what's the difference, right? So evasion is how difficult is it to hit your adventurer, your hero. So in our system, we have a 2d6 system where you roll to meet the beat. So if someone were to try and attack you, the higher evasion, the harder it is to hit that number. Now, what's the difference between heavy armor then? So heavy armor typically has lower evasion. However, it comes with an armor stat. And armor is a flat reduction to the damage you take. So for example, if you were to have 3 armor rating and you get hit for 4, you will take 1 damage instead, right? And so that's kind of how we differentiate between clothing, light, and heavy. And of course, there's like in-betweens here and there, and magical items that might change the rules slightly, but that's the rough kind of like ruling.
We have a small window here. So I'll take, the last time I took cloth, right?
That's right. That's right. Yes, correct. No. You took light armor. You took leather.
Leather.
Yeah. Because the
I ended up paying. No, I took up leather was because when I buy. So before I buy, I say I choose the light armors.
Yes.
Or mastery. So this time round, okay, same again. I'll take the light.
Oh, we're at the bottom level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can.
All right, and so he has chosen the light armor mastery. And so with that, you have spent 3 mastery points, and that concludes the level 1 selection of masteries and their skills. All right.
Right, now the step 3, allocate attributes. Right, for those who love numbers, this is where. So we have all the cards. You have formed the cards right now. Keep all the cards. That's your assets.
Yes, this is now your little deck, your spell book.
Right. So now you start to fill up all the numbers here. Right.
All right. So just as a bonus reference, right? So like in the rule book, it actually shows you how to read your adventure sheet. So you don't have to worry about that, right? It might look like a lot of different things, but I guarantee you it is very simplified and quick to use. It includes like all of the things on the left that tells you what it is and which page you have the reference to go and look for more information about them, right? And so now we shall select our attributes. And our attributes fall under these 5 categories on the left right there, right? And so starting from the top, we have might, representing your adventurous strength, their ability to push things, pull things, all that kind of things, all the good stuff, all the physical, powerful, muscular things, right? Then we have dexterity, which is your character's dexterous fingers, his speed, how nimble he is, what do you call it? Acrobatic, right? And then we have affinity. So affinity is it's kind of like a combination between wisdom, intelligence, and their ability to use magic, right? And then the fourth one, we have vigor. Vigor represents your constitution, your health, your bodily strength, your ability to resist poisons and diseases and stuff like that, right? And then the last one we have is charm. Charm is traditionally also known as charisma, but it goes a little further than that into things like your presence, your confidence, and generally like the type of aura that your character may have when they're going through the world. All right. And so the way that we allocate attributes is we have two kind of like main methods of allocating them. We have a standard array, which is if people who play other RPGs, you'll be familiar with standard array as like you have a set number and then you allocate them. But for those who don't, standard array, you're given 5 numbers here. So you have you have +2, +1, +1, +0, and -1. Notice the modifiers, right? And so these numbers, right, you just take them and put them right onto the set, right? We don't
So
have a
+2,
zero dice.
+1, +1,
+0,
+0,
and then a -1.
-1. I do have
Yep.
-1.
We put it upside down now.
Oh,
Use a different color. Use this one. 0, 1 dot.
0. Right.
Alright.
So the -1 is very special.
Yep. And so with this, you can allocate them in any way that you want into the 5 attributes.
Right. So for my case, my claimant, I put again 2 at charm, affinity 1, and dexterity 1. My Virgo, is it 0?
Yep, that's 0.
Is it the same as the last time, -1, or the other way?
I think it's the same.
Okay.
Looks the
So
same.
my might
Yeah.
is -1.
Right. And so the difference between the last time we did our little character creation and this one is that this time you have a magical spell, right? And so attributes affect your character's ability to use certain types of masteries. Now, this is not strict in the sense that certain weapons may be able to use more than one kind of stat, but in this case, for Arcane strictly uses affinity, and it even has certain scalings based on affinity. Oh, looking for something?
No, just go ahead.
Yep. So in this case, having 1 on affinity is actually a very wise choice because that minion over there, the number of attacks it has scales to how much affinity you have, right? So the more affinity you have, the more number of attacks it gets, right, before it disappears, because it's a temporary minion.
I was trying to do a -1 like this. There 1.
Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect, right?
Yes, I have a lot of different D6s here.
-1. Just talk a bit, John, share a bit, like, why did we choose to use 2d6?
So, for my audiences like who are from the US, it might not be as difficult to find many different types of dice over there. However, in Asia, like it is very difficult for you to find anything that's not a D6, right? In Asia, especially in Singapore, right, like we play games like mahjong and board games, and typically they do come with like a pack of D6. So there are many households who don't have a D6, right? So in the rare case where you lose your D6 or whatever, it is very easy for you to get another set. Now, if we were to lose like D20s and D10s and all that stuff, it's quite expensive to get another one, to buy more, to order online and things like that. So one of the main reasons is ease of access. Now, the second reason is that we are a 2d6 game. So we are not a D20 game where you roll a single D20 and your outcomes are linear. So your chances of 1 to 20 are all 5%, right? You roll 2d6, you add the values together, so it becomes a bell curve, right? Where rolling 2 6s and rolling 2 1s are much less common than rolling everything in between, right? Because, 2 numbers. So what that allows us to do is that it weights certain things much more highly. So having 2 6s is normal is like 2 or 3% compared to the 5% that a natural 20 might have in some of the other systems. And if you were to roll a single d10, that would be a 10%, right? So those are occurring much more often compared to our system. And that's one of the reasons why we chose to use d6, well, 2d6s, right? So every player, minimum 2d6s. Well, technically, you can roll 1 dice twice, but
Cool. Okay, next step, expertise.
all right.
This is my favorite. So far we need to refer to the cards. We need to refer to the quick guides, the rulebook, how we read them, and then look at the cards, right? And then study a bit about the history. But expertise.
All right.
Yeah.
So right before we get on to expertise, you might notice that on this sheet, right, there are no skills in the sense that there's no acrobatics, there's no athletics, there's none of that stuff. And you're like, how do I know what to roll? You know? So in our system, right, when you need to do something that is in line with those things, you simply roll the attribute, you add them, right? And then you'd be like, oh, but what about like the more niche things like blacksmithing, you know, like what's that do I roll for blacksmithing, right? And so that's where we have expertise. Expertise are not a fixed list of skills, no. Instead, what they are, right, is that this is something that the player has to decide for themselves, right? They think about things like, oh, what was my adventure doing before I became an adventurer? Or like what was my background, or what is something that like as a kid, like I was just really good at, I was like a prodigy at like hula hoop or something like that, right? And so these are things that we categorize under expertise. And when you have an expertise and you use your expertise in a role, you will always roll with knowledge, and knowledge scales to level rather than your attribute and is typically always your highest. And so expertise can be anything under the sun, anything that you think is interesting for your character.
Right. That's why it's very I'm usually always excited when it comes to like coming up with expertise, and I always refine, because when one game there's still some limitation, then I'm going to refine how I'm going to like word my expertise, right? So now John has explained. Well, we go a little bit furthermore. John has explained like everything seems to be like easy, making things easy, and especially using like 2D6 and all these things. But does it? What about those that want more depth and this? Is it going to be too easy for them? That there's not too much strategy or options of things for them to play with?
No. So the way in the system, right, a lot of our depth has been shifted over from instead of front loading it to, you know, starting your character, having to memorize all these things, right? We have shifted all of this kind of like cognitive load over to the skills. And skills are things that you accumulate over your different levels, right? And that allows you to slowly ramp up how difficult and how complicated the game gets. And I can guarantee you that at higher levels, combat can get very tactical. There are a lot of skills that have synergies, and especially synergies with your allies and your teammates, right? This ties into our initiative system, in which all the players go at the same time. So you can do something like, I move here, you move here, that we strike together. So these are things that may not have been possible in some of the other systems due to a strict kind of like your turn, his turn, this other person's turn. You can like go back and go in between and stuff like that. And so that adds a lot more depth, especially in the combat scenario. Now, for roleplay, however, right, expertise is actually where a decent amount of the depth comes from, because you are creating your own expertise, your own skill set. And that means that you have to justify how you are using certain stats and expertise.
Right. Okay, so we will go more in depth in a separate video on that, because I have a lot more questions in the in depth and all this thing, but we'll get to that in different separate videos and topics. But while getting to it, if you have any like inquiries on what we have been talking and sharing so far, do post put down in the comments what you would like to know more. Yeah. And at the same time, sorry, many apologies for shamelessly advertising this. Do follow us because we have a lot more to like share. We're gonna post a lot more and share more informations. Do follow us and click the notification bell.
Yep.
So yeah, let's get on expertise. So I get to pick two expertise. So usually my first favorite one is like one of my favorite like expertise is talking. I just talking. So what's the use of talking? Is that you can talk to you to do into like doing anything.
Right.
Just talking. But today my talking expertise, I'm going to say that it's inspired from a movie from Stephen Chow. Like the talking is, you can just like sparring verbally, right? Okay, and yes, the expertise is too much to the point that I can talk to a deaf to a life, right?
And so just to add on and clarify a little bit of things, right? So like things like talking, right? If you don't have an expertise in talking, traditionally you may have used things like your charm. Now, in this case, right, talking would actually be more useful on a character who has low charm, because typically you can't talk, right? But then if you're very good at talking, maybe you have a speech, maybe you speak in a certain way. So in this case, it's like almost nagging or annoying someone with your speech, right? Then it becomes something that you can use to specifically kind of like approach challenges where you need to talk with a low charm. However, in this case, yeah, high charm, and you can talk even more, right?
Now, this time around, I'm going to add a bit more details about this talking. Now, my talking, right, is not just like wavelength and just sound. So it can manipulate to the nano and to any atom to mold them and shape them.
There comes a point, right, when a player may be like, I want to be God, right? And so that is where the game masters, who's known as keepers in our setting, or not setting, our game, has to say no, right? So, okay, no, that's too much, right? Like, you cannot be going to the point where I am controlling this person's life with my speech, right? You can influence it, but you can't affect the nanomolecules and whatnot, right?
Okay, we'll just leave it as it is, but it's still like talking. So I have a second skill.
You have one more expertise that you can choose from.
Expertise. What was my last one? Do you remember?
I don't think you chose the second one, do you?
I did, or didn't I?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember now because I was like blank. Just talking. Just second one. Second one is well, if there's a limit, I was trying to like using stare you down. Expertise. Talking is not negotiating, right? It's going to be different.
It could be. But I mean, in this case, it's not negotiating, lah. You talking the guy to death is not negotiating. That is torture.
It's just talking. Yeah, it's mainly on the torturing side. So this just hint. Spoiler. You could use it in combat. In different effect, right? Yeah.
He mentioned something about voice bending. It's the KSM. What do you mean by voice bending? Is there something wrong with the mic? But there's like a 10-second delay anyway.
That voice bending.
Might be something to do with the mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
check on that later.
What else expertise? Oh, by the way, so like me, like I'm getting stuck. So what's going to happen for those who are not that well with like being creative?
Oh, as in he meant like.
Oh, voice, the expertise voice. That's
it's
a good.
It's like Avatar, right?
That's Avatar. That's a good one. Nanoparticle speech.
Instead of airbending, I can say you.
Yeah. So that's that's really like a lot of fun. Like when you're like sharing and adopting, then you definitely will have one of those that no, you can't. Fighting all this thing. That's a good one. Okay, so I was trying to say that like for some people, it can. So we would like people to be creative, but however, it's not to everybody. So they come to point like I got stuck like it's too wide. Suddenly is too much. Like what do I pick? So don't worry, we have a few recommended.
Yep.
We have a recommended list that you can use that, or you can use that as inspiration or reference to build on it. So like me getting stuck, is it like going to wait? There's a few things that could happen. One is like if there's other players, there's suggestion. They'll tell you like what you like and all these things. But we definitely have a list of recommended one. What's the list of recommended one?
So it could be very basic things like roles like farmers, blacksmiths, maybe you're a bartender.
Okay. Can it be Doraemon?
What does it mean to be Doraemon?
The pocket.
No.
Just too powerful.
Yeah.
OP.
So when things come to have like mechanical implications, that's when you're like, okay, is this supposed to be an expertise or a skill, right? Yeah. But you could be Doraemon's personality, maybe, or you could be like a stand-up comedian or whatever.
Personality is not an expertise.
Oh, well, depends on what it does, right?
Okay.
I think it was stand-up comedian the last time.
Stand-up comedian.
Yeah, I think
that one's. Oh, you're right. You're right.
I think it was.
But
yeah.
that one is still talking. I want to get
still
something
talking.
else, because I was thinking like the Jumanji, the one with Dwayne Johnson and what's that? The other Kevin Hart, right? So he was playing the role that he could pick up anything from that bag. I cannot.
No. We have an item for that.
Yeah. Okay. You have an item for that. Expertise. So KSM314. What about you? If you have an expertise to choose, which one would you choose? Let me see.
Maybe something related to your background or like a weird thing.
I'm good at like one of my expertise is like Batman. No. Don't get me wrong. Not the overpower like Batman. Like not the way he fight. Not the way that he instilled fear. Is the way he enter and disappear. Like you turn around.
Okay.
In another way, I like the one thing and then the other thing.
It's a uncanny kind of like a whoop, and then next moment you're like,
how should you put it? Like it's not like run away fast. It's like when you don't expect him to be there, it's like suddenly he's behind you like a ghost.
It's like you're able to like lower your presence. Then you suddenly like just I am not there.
How should you word it? What kind of like? That's an expertise, right? Like when you least expect,
yeah.
like
that is something.
I'm just right behind you.
It's a skill set, right?
You're supposed to spook you, right? Like then when the next moment when we are done with conversation, turn around, I'm gone. It's like
okay, like in this case, the expertise may be something along the lines of concealing your presence, right? Where you're able to like, okay, I am going to disappear quickly, right? And I want to like shrink my presence and then like, right? And then when you appear again, you kind of like review your presence once more.
Okay.
So it can be like your ability to conceal that presence.
As and when, like just like that. Concealment.
Okay. You have to try to conceal your presence and then you roll and see if it works.
Yeah, but that's the expertise, the term.
Correct,
yes. As and when. But it's not really as and when, it's that you still have to roll for the probability. So those expertise is when you can use it, but when you use it, you still have to roll. That it's just an expertise that you can use. It doesn't mean that it's always successful.
Yep.
Right. It's when something happened that you can just, hey, I can use this. Yeah, right.
Or rather, you should be thinking about how you can use those things and then telling your GM like, oh, I want to do it this way.
Okay, so now we have two expertise of talking,
right.
talking you to death,
and so those
concealment.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the one. All right. Then okay. So once we get that, the next step is determine your appearance and background.
Yep. And so that would be step 5, determining your appearance and background. And so these could be very simple things like how does your character look, right? What's his hair color, skin color, eye color, height, any like scars, you always wear a earring, maybe he has like grandma's scarf or something, you know? So those are your appearances. And your background would be like his background information. What was he doing before that? What is he doing now? What's the type of person that he is? Yeah.
So the height, because I'm a claimant, so the highest I can go to is 1.2.
Yep, that's right. 1.2
1.2 meter.
Yep.
Not feet.
That will be very small.
I was trying to go like the minimum whereby, you know, those when you go to those standard outlet, cinema or buffet, you don't have to pay because you're below that height.
Below
But
the middle height.
It's 90 cm, is it?
Yeah.
That's too short.
Mm.
Right, so 1.2.
Yep.
1.2 it's something that you need to write here.
So appearances are actually not written on the card itself. There is a little thing right there. If, for example, you were to create a character or you wish to draw on that space also can, right? You can print it and paste it if you would like. Yep. And so the pre-generated ones will come with pictures already, right? However, the back of the sheet, which is not printed on this one, will typically include a couple of like empty lines for you to write things like your inventory, any bonus notes that you might want to include, like maybe you're going through an adventure, you're like, oh, this guy stole something, right? So that is where we would typically write these appearances down. Yep.
Okay, so I'll have like a dark amber eye.
Dark amber eyes, okay.
Hairstyle color is dark amber as well.
Mm,
Hairstyle, just like same thing, bowl cut.
So it's
The
like
bowl.
around.
All right. Gender, a male. Unique characteristics. I have no scars, no birthmark, nothing.
Do you wear anything on you all the time?
No.
Alright, so you're just bowl cut boy.
Yeah.
Alright. And so there'll be the appearances, and then what's your background?
Yeah, background. So just now I was saying the skill. One of the skills is the stand-up comedy. So, so this is not the stand-up. The skill, the expertise, not the skill, the expertise. So instead of the expertise being the stand-up comedy, so my background is a stand-up. I'm trying to be a stand-up comedy in this village. All right.
Stand-up comedy wannabe.
So I felt that I have no room to grow. That's why I wanted to go out to the world, right, to spread my my expertise in stand-up comedy. But little do I know that I actually not very good at stand-up comedy.
Well, maybe. We'll see where the dice takes you.
Yeah. So usually, you have a background story that tells you where a bit about yourself, your imagination, and eventually one of the things that you will need to answer is like your goal. Like why did you like want to be an adventurer?
Right.
So it's sort of like 2 in 1 that goes like because of this happened, and I similarly I feel that I'm not growing, which apparently is not the truth. That I wanted to go out. That I feel that I'll grow and I meet hopefully meet different people to help me to grow stronger.
Right, and so that is all of step 5.
Yeah. So, and that includes my flaws, which just maybe to be very obvious is oblivious. Right? Obvious is being oblivious. Right. Okay.
All right. That actually ties us into the next step, which is to determine your personality traits. So as you mentioned just now, that's one of your goals, that's one of your flaws, right? And in a sense, that's also kind of your personality as well, right? And so those are the 3 things that you have to determine when you choose your personality traits, which is your personality itself, the goals, and the flaws, right? All are compulsory, and they can be written over here.
So your personality is right here, your goal, and your flaws.
Yep.
All right.
And so these are things that are on the character sheet. Now, why are they on the character sheet? Because these things are meant to drive your ability to, well, it's not your ability to roleplay, but it's there to guide you in roleplaying. So it's like sometimes you're like, oh, what would my character do, right? And then you can look at what you've written for your personality, your traits, and be like, okay, I guess that's what they might do, right? And these things are not like concrete, because as you adventure, it might change. Your goal might change. Your flaws, you may overcome them and you gain new flaws, right? So these are things that are there kind of like as guidelines and as a base for you to shoot off into your adventure.
Right. So now the step 7. Okay, you name your adventure. So so in Chinese we have this saying that we didn't do anything wrong. We're not going to change our name. We're not afraid to let people know our name. So what's my name? Crabback. Crabback.
An honest name.
All right, I'll call myself Crabback. For a bag of crabs. Crabback.
Because you're full of crap. All right. And so the very last step is the logistical step that everybody has to go through. And that is what do you actually start with your equipment wise, right? And so when you make a character, right, you're given 3,000 gold at the start. And we don't have gold coins, we don't have silver coins, we don't have copper coins. This is gold.
It's one
as a
standard currency.
That's right. However, that does not mean that the physical coins don't exist in the world. It's just that we are representing them as a single currency for the purposes of just ease of use, right? Like in the world when you're going through like maybe a tomb or labyrinth or some kind of like ancient civilization, you may find their unique coins, but we will represent those unique coins as being worth X amount of gold, right? So that everybody knows how much gold this is. There's no conversion things happening here, right? And so you're given 3,000 gold and you're able to spend your gold in any way that you like at the start, right? And there's a list of items that come with the rulebook. There's a chapter on all the equipment and the top one. Can you show the top one? Yep. And so this is the table that determines like what are the starting starting armors that you can buy, right? And there's another table here. So this is the one on the left is weapons. And then the one on the right is your adventuring gear. Yep. And then I think there's one more page. And so besides your armor and your weapons and some of the singular adventuring gear, right, we also come with packs, right? And so the packs will come with a bag, all the like your rations, your water skins and whatnot that you can purchase kind of like as a simple like everything's inside one, and start your adventure that way as well. Yep.
I need this. It was going to be different. I'm not going to ask for more money. So okay, let's skip that. All right. If not, everyone will be doing what I'm doing. All right. So why not trying to make life difficult for the game master? Okay. So the first one, the pack. Same thing. I'll go with the
academic
pack, which is 1,000. So that left me with 2,000 gold balance. Yep. The knife. Is it the knife or the?
I think it took a short sword.
Short sword, which is how much?
$500.
500.
Yep.
Left with 1,500. The light armor is. Which light armor can I?
The previous page.
Okay.
Yep. Here.
Light armor. I can't take on
So he has spent 1,500 gold so far. He has 1,500 left.
So I can only get the height armor, which is 600.
Yep. And so there will be 2,100 and you have 900 left.
So under the armor here, so each type, the cloth, the light, and the heavy, there are 2 types. So because I left with 1,500, I can only get the 600 one.
Yep.
Which left me with
900
yep. Gold. Right.
And so with that means that your character starts with 900 gold as they begin their adventure. Now, of course, if you're starting an adventure and you're not level 1, you may want to like talk with your GM and then be like, oh, like should we have certain extra like gold spending or items, or maybe we start magical items as well. But for this scenario, this is how you create a level 1 character from base and scratch. And that also means that sometimes you may come from a certain background in your character's backstory that may have more gold, and you might want to talk to your GM about that. But generally, I think 3,000 gold is what we have balanced most players to start with, roughly. Yeah.
Right. The armor. Do we need to do anything regarding the?
Yes.
Yes.
And so, because you have chosen the hide armor, so hide armor is a light armor, and light armor has both evasion and a little bit of protection, right? With hide armor, you have to choose your. You don't choose. You allocate your evasion and your armor rating, and that would be at the top right here. These two, right? So evasion is equal to 7 plus your dexterity when you are using hide armor specifically. Right, so in this case, you have 1 dex. That would be 7 plus 1.
So you write an 8 here.
Yep, that's right.
Right.
And then for your armor, there's no addition here. You just have 1 armor. I can put a green. Right. And so you might also have noticed like, oh, there are some like other little like stat things, the hit points and speed and stuff like that. Right. Speed is determined when you choose your race. And this information is inside the rulebook rather than a card, because this applies to all of that race. So in this case, right, as a claimant, because you're a small creature, you're short, your legs are short, your speed is 25, right? And hit points are determined by your vigor and your level. And so with a vigor of 0, I believe. Let me show the table also. Okay. Just show the tabletop here. And so with the table here, it shows you how much HP you have per level, right? And so at level 1, you have a total of 7 HP here because you have 0 vigor, right? And so with that, everything has been done to create your very own character, right?
My HP?
7.
7.
Yes.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay, so you have 7 HP. So now, in terms of combat, we'll be uploading a video covering that, because we have that cover. So we'll put it up in our YouTube. That covers right after the hero's creation.
Yep.
We have like a simple demo, the combat system, how it's being how we go about it. But what we wanted to show, unlike the last time, is that so with the combat, there's a reference sheet that you could use this as a guide for your combat, like what you could do, the steps, and all this.
So this reference sheet has everything that a player requires to basically play the game. It's not just combat. It's mainly combat information, but it's not just combat. So things like, like what's a cone, what's an emanation, what do conditions do, what do the icons represent at the bottom left, if you can see, right? And all those kind of like things that you might have to reference to on the fly. You don't want to refer to your rule book or things like that. So this is to speed up the experience. And the basic set comes with a few copies of the reference sheet as well, right? And they're all A5.
So what can we do after creating the heroes? Obviously, you don't go straight into combat. So what we're gonna do today is that this is something we didn't discuss beforehand. Just throw it out as a wild card for John.
Okay.
So John, you just like give like a simple setting where the role play. So what the heroes, what we wanted to do is that with these heroes that's being created by you, what's it like a glimpse, like during the stories, the entire experience, excluding the combat, what's it's going to be like. So yeah, you can just throw me like a scenario where I can maybe enter a place talking to an NPC or whichever.
Okay, I have something just in mind. All right, and so your name is Crabback, yes?
Yes.
All right. As you sit on the stone cold floor in prison, your hands have been chained to the wall. As you see this man standing outside of the prison door saying, "Mr. Crabback, you have been charged for the crime of regicide. And so you shall be executed by the drowning cells." As you're chained to this wall, you feel water start to drip out from this little hole above you. And he looks over to you. I won't be seeing you again, as he steps out of the prison door. You can see that to your left and right, in the same cells, there are like other people also being executed for whatever various crimes, as they are also slowly being waterboarded. As you can see, the water level rising inside the prison.
I hear you, but I still don't understand what's going on. Why am I in the prison?
So you have been charged with the crime of regicide, which means that you killed the king.
Yeah.
Now, only you know whether you killed the king or not.
So the guard just left. So before he left, can I call up to him?
Sure. What do you want to say?
So wait. What do you mean? My crime? What do you mean the crime that I committed?
It's like we have found you in the quarters of the king as he was found murdered, and you are the only suspect, and so we shall summarily execute you.
Why can't me being there witnessing the murderer just escape from the windows?
We have witnesses that state that you are the one.
What witnesses?
That is not for us to disclose.
I have also witnesses witnessing me standing there witnessing the murderer jumping out of the escaping through the windows.
As he walks closer towards the door. And who might that be?
And who might your witness be?
That is not for us to disclose.
And it's not for me to disclose.
Then we shall execute you.
That you are executing me under false false claim.
Then you see that he turns around, right?
So at this point, before I continue, he is near the door, right? He move close near the door.
Yeah, he's walking up the stairs towards the door.
Sorry, he's near the prison door or
Oh yeah, right now he's near the prison door. He's walking away from you.
Yeah, but I call him out and then he moved near to the prison cell door.
Yeah. So now he just turned around.
And he was asking me, and who might that be, right? And then he said that he's going to execute me. Then I say that it's false, under false claim.
Yeah, and then he turns around.
He turns around,
yes.
Right? So I'm going to continue to talk. And this time I use my expertise of talking.
Okay.
I'm trying to so that's a saying, you can't win no, not join them. It's like usually is you can't win them, you join them. But in this round, this is me from Mickey, right? You can't win them, you confuse them.
Okay.
So you confuse them. So I keep talking and talking and like more and more illogical stuff. So as he confused until that the confused would turn into rage, that he wanted to teach me a lesson. Okay, so I just wanted
to enrage him.
Yeah, enrage him.
Okay,
yes, I want to enrage him.
Okay, and so that is where we will do our first roll. So in these situations, right, these kind of roleplay situations, the rolls are typically challenge rolls, and challenge rolls are right here, right? Challenge rolls typically have a difficulty. So in this case, it's how hard is it to enrich this guy, right? You won't know the difficulty, the GM will know the difficulty. So I have a number in my head, right? And that's where you roll. Oh, can you see? Yep. And that's where you roll 2 6-sided dice and add the values together.
So I was saying that we wouldn't be demonstrating combat, but I'm this close to being in the combat while not able to do any combat, right? So I just roll. Right. What is this?
So that is a 6 total, right? And so typically you may have added something like your charm. However, because this is his expertise of nagging someone to death, you would add 3 instead, which is your knowledge number. Knowledge is dependent on the level. So level 1 is 3, right? So the total number is 8 here. And in my head, it's not very difficult to enrage this guy. It was like a 6. Which means that you have successfully enraged him. He turns around, right? And then he reaches out for you as he tries to grab you. But the thing is that you're actually closer to the
I'm chained to the wall, right? I'm chained to the wall.
Bam! Right, the whole door, the whole kind of like the cell shakes, right? And you can see the 2 prisoners inside you was like, what? Right? The whole time water is like dripping on your head.
So he banged. Is it more water dropping on my head?
No. There's no more water dropping on your head.
There's no more dropping.
But he reaches out closer to you. Do you do anything?
Yeah, I continue. Is that the best that you can do? Like my grandmother can do better than you.
As he reaches out and he realizes he cannot reach you, right? He pulls back his fist. It's enough! None more of this shit. And then he walks away. While he walks away, right,
Yeah.
you notice that something drops on the floor right in front of your prison cell, right? And you see like a little ring and there's a bunch of keys.
Wow. Okay.
In the force of reaching forward, he must have dropped it.
All right. So am I the only one that sees it? What about the two dudes?
The two dudes beside you are too shocked to notice that it dropped.
Okay. All right. So I was like this.
Hmm.
All right. I'm being chained.
Yep.
I don't think my feet can reach, right?
Can
I reach? How big is the cell?
You can. It's a stretch, literally.
Right.
You can try to reach it, but it's gonna take all you can to contort your body and like tiptoe upon it.
What's my other skill again?
Your other skill is
Oh no, I don't remember again. The other one was what was I saying? Last time was stand up. I no longer stand up. Holy moly. What?
See, this is why we must write down on the expertise sheet.
Oh no. Totally blank.
Short-term memory.
Short-term memory lost. No, I cannot remember.
I still don't remember already.
Let me thought of a new expertise that I can do this.
In this moment, as the water is dripping on your head, you're thinking of a new expertise.
Nah, I can't think of a new expertise. I was thinking about stair initially. Then I didn't use the stair.
No, you didn't use that.
Definitely, I didn't use the stair. I was saying stair.
Oh, concealment of your presence, like Batman. You appear and disappear, but now you're chained up.
That doesn't help.
So here's the thing where even though you have skills that are meant for combat, these are skills that can be used outside of combat as well.
Right. Okay, so I got no choice. I tried to squeeze out of the chain.
Okay. How do you want to squeeze out of these chains?
Yeah, just squeeze my hand like out without breaking my thumb or fingers first.
Okay. So in this case, we will use a dexterity roll for this. Right, and so you can roll
6 again.
8 again in total. No, this is 7 in total.
Yeah,
right?
7.
So, you notice that these shackles, right, are human-sized. So as a claimant, your hands are stubbier and they're smaller. So you just kind of like whoop, and your hand comes out.
So if it's for human, then wouldn't I be like dangling up in the air because I'm short?
It's not how it's chained to the floor, like the bottom.
Oh, you
bottom
change
of the wall.
to the floor.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I was then loose.
Right. So you just slip both your hands out of the thing. You're like,
All right.
that's not very wise.
So I like a claw towards the door and then go and grab the drop keys.
So you crawl and then you pick up the drop keys. Okay, now I as a GM, I'm gonna roll whether the two people beside him noticed it.
I use my skill of concealment.
Okay, then you roll for this. So he's
like come and go.
Going over and then that's a really high number. That's 11 in total. So you have 8 plus 3. Right. And so they definitely don't notice you. They're still kind of like frightened as the water is
now
coming.
I come and use the concealment Batman.
He's like, picks it up. Okay, and now you have the keys in your hand. Right. The door is right in front of you.
So of course I try to open it. How many keys are there?
There are 5 keys.
Okay, let's try.
So you start. The moment you put the key inside, right, you try to turn right, you do notice that it starts making quite a lot of noise. It's like, and then you're opening the thing. And eventually, you do get it open. and it unlocks here.
Right.
So
What happened next? Stay tuned. You're gonna stay tuned, right? So yeah, I guess that's it for us, because we tried to set each live to actually to 90 minutes. Way over it. So that's we spend more time explaining stuff, but this is what we tried to share and give them information, mainly about the heroes, how you could build it, and then how we would try to avoid like having especially new players new to tabletops have to go through and understand a lot of things, and then the GM have to tell them a lot of things. But here we have just minimum guidance, minimum reference, all this thing, and yes, with the expertise. When you make use of the mastery, I could even summon my minion actually to pick it up instead of me crawling, which I did not use. Still engrossed about myself, right? So I could like confuse and enrage while summoning, and then my wolf is just right behind him, and then he wouldn't be able to go to the door. So these are some of the stuff. This our combat, which we hope that players can have fun, like exploring.
Yeah, being creative, just trying whatever. You have an idea, just give it a shot, right? And the system allows you to just be as creative as you can within those limits.
Yeah. So once again, our Aeons of Adventure is right now in pre-launch.
Pre-launch page, yes.
It's at pre-launch stage. So it's we're gonna share the link. Do go there, and then you can click on the notify me on launch, or you can just follow us on our Facebook as well as the YouTube, our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so all of the links are in the description below. You can just click them, and then all of them are there, right? You can just go there. Go follow us on Kickstarter.
Yeah, and click on the notification bell.
Click on the notify me, right? Yeah. Follow us for more info as well.
Thank you.
All right, and this is the 3rd episode of Tiny Table Talk. Thank you guys for coming to watch, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.